Hello again. I'm at least on track to talk about this one, although I was really lazy and I only just remembered that there are poker tournaments going on, just in time for there to be 6 players left. So again, I couldn't get everybody's countries. Not that I couldn't, I just didn't. I went promising something more professional next time, and I delivered this instead. Okay, what is... Okay. Anyway, as usual, our shoutouts to those who didn't quite make it. Holo Man is back. 1,226 people played in this one. $109 buy-in. $100,000 guaranteed prize pool. We ended up with 122,600. And this is another PKO, Progressive Knockout. So, everybody's got a bounty. The overall prize pool doesn't really go up all that much in the early going. I just had lunch. But not too much. I can guarantee you that I'll be a lot more level-headed with my commentary this time. Alrighty, so those are the people who just missed out. Everybody on the final table is guaranteed 1,226. Wow. 8th place is exactly the same number of people who showed up for this one. Huh. Funny how that worked out. Anyway. So yeah, $109 buy-in. I did not look up the blind schedule. I can see, and I can tell you that there were 150,000 starting chips, and starting out with 20-minute blinds. I do not know what they became after the late reg was over, though. But judging by the, oh wait, never mind. We actually, we actually aren't that deep. But what's important to note here, I already shouted out, I already shouted one guy out for making it back, but Gary Oak up at the top again, just barely behind Eddie in the chip counts. He was slightly ahead of somebody else last time we saw him, but this guy is now going for 2 OSS titles in a week. That is incredible. That he's even come this far is already incredible. Lines are already 350 and 700. And King 6 suited is definitely the kind of hand that is worthy of defending, but only if you've got plenty of chips to do that with, and Eddie certainly does. Continuation bet from Crimson02. About a third of the pot. Respectable. Good to see that. And it is good enough. He did have a gut shot, so fairly standard run there. Ace-Queen goes all in, and Eddie is there waiting for him with Ace-King suited. Can't really fault D-Tran at all. With about 11 big blinds left, Ace-Queen's certainly good enough. But not good enough to beat Eddie. And nothing in there for D-Tran. He'd actually prefer to see a king now. Well, compared to at least a brick. That would give him 4 outs instead of 3. It's a 9. That would be a brick. And worse than that, it's a 9 of spades. Eddie with 2 spades in the hand as well. So D-Tran only wins with the Queen of Hearts or the Queen of Clubs, or we've already lost our first player. And overkill for Eddie. But any kill is a good kill when you've got a PKO final table on your hands. So Eddie extends his chip lead. D-Tran just ran into a buzzsaw right off the bat. King James, heck you. And great. Right off the bat, we have somebody not only pressing the evil green circle, but it obscures their cards. ACR, please fix. That's really annoying. He did have a couple of 2s, although I don't blame him for folding them. Gary decides to bet the 5s. he whiffed that flop, but he figures that Ify Birch probably whiffed it as well. He did, but he also has a pair. He's willing to stick around just in case Gary maybe slows down. Maybe he can take it over. He's not slowing down, though. He's pressing on as if he's got pocket queens. And Ify Birch realizes that the fours are just not worth hanging on anymore. Especially because he might be being asked a question for all his chips on the river, and who likes that with one pair? One small pair, even. Blinds are already up. So, we got to the final table on a pretty close to the blind bubble. And Ace-King with a very obvious 3-bet all-in here. We got a perfect 3-bet shoving stack. And, wow! A snap call with just a couple of sixes. Ify Birch. I mean, this is a call that almost certainly you wouldn't make, and you damn sure wouldn't snap call it if it wasn't a PKO, but you see Ify Birch only has $140, Jew 1 has $666. Money talks, and he is willing to go for it, and he's extremely fortunate that he is up against Ace-King. So far, so good, and he even got the heart. Jew cannot win with a heart. And 10 of clubs is no good. Jew 1 is already out of here as well. Ify Birch gets what he wants from that. It was a huge gamble. It was for all of his chips as well. But it pays off for the pocket sixes, and I guess that makes sense. 666 for the bounty, and pocket sixes are what takes it. Makes a lot of sense when you think about it. King James has King 8 offsuit. I have to freaking tell you what he has every single hand. And King James is in big trouble. He's got top pair, Ify Birch with top 2. And King James' kicker isn't even good enough, even if he hits it. Oh! And he does hit it. The robots are actively doing the right thing and punishing him for pressing the evil green circle. There's a half-pot bet by Ify Birch. This is probably a good spot to shove for King James. I would, probably. How could he possibly think he doesn't have the best hand? He is just going to call. The Queen of Clubs is no help to him. He's checking again. He's showing a lot of discipline. Although, yeah, he is going to be faced with the all-in, and completely understandable call there. So, just doesn't work out for him. And another lightning-quick elimination. And the circle is still there. I hate this. But at least it's not covering any cards. And interestingly enough, when I roll over, it no longer says on a, pop-up text, this player wishes to make a deal. Because there is pop-up text that I don't think you guys can actually see. I don't think it's captured on OBS. 2.2 million. Another respectable continuation bet. Good to see those. Eddie with ace high. And what's all this then? Decides to just can it. Understandably, he's the short stack. But he's not hopelessly short. He just needs a good spot to start scoring. Especially in a PKO, you can't really get away with bluff shoving all that much. We just saw how quickly people were willing to call off their entire stack with sixes. Eddie with a couple of eights, just with the call. I like the discipline there. Crimsono with plenty of chips. Eddie can be left with as low as 20 million by the end of the hand if he's not careful. But now that we have 3 eliminations, the numbers are consolidating. And because Eddie just called, Crimsono would like to lead out, keep going with a pretty big bet, actually. And it works. Eddie has an underpair to all 3 cards, which is pretty rare with 8s, but he's just thinking, you know what? If he's got any of that, then this is not worth it. He didn't have it, but the logic was sound. And this time a check with ace-6 of spades. If I'm him, that's a donk bet every time. But he's more willing to see if Ify Birch wants to keep going, and he does, with Middle pair. Ah, okay, he had a better idea. No donk bet, but instead a check raise. Ify Birch makes the call with middle pair and pretty much no kicker. There were a lot of friendly turn cards, and he was getting a good price on his money, so I've certainly seen worse calls, but I think now he might be able to get away from it. No, he's not. Crimsano bet like that was a value bet. He completely airballs the river. Does he want to represent something again? No, he does not. Ify Birch earned that one. He saw right through Crimsano's movements. Whatever he saw in them, he was correct. Gotta give him some credit for that. And he is now the chip leader at 55.8 million. Everybody started with 150,000, so the numbers are quite large. The ante right now is 120,000, incidentally. 8. What's all this then? Was looking for a spot to start scoring, and this is a good spot. Maybe a good spot for a check shove from him, too. Too bad Ify Birch only bet a quarter of the pot like everyone else. Except this table's actually been good. Okay, he's gonna raise small, but works out the same. Managed to sucker a little bit more out of his opponent before committing to that top pair. And, even better, he's got kings now. Well, the problem is Eddie is going to raise, and he may be inclined to call if what's all this then makes a small re-raise. Maybe. It is a PKO, like I said. I think he's got enough that he doesn't have to shove here if he doesn't want to. I would like if he would... Okay, yeah, that's a good number. I would like it if he didn't waste some of his time bank, but... He made a good-sized raise. Eddie could go either way here. But he makes the fold. Good job. What's all this then, though? Picks up a couple of pots. That's all it takes to really get back in. 27.3 big blinds. That's not bad at all. 21 million. He's got a shot. He's got my ex-favorite hand, King 10 of Hearts. Queen 10 of Clubs. Moose least favorite hand. And there's a re-raise from Ify Birch. Ify Birch's instincts have been pretty spot on so far. What's all this then with King 10, but probably doesn't want to... Oh, he's going to go for it. And we'll see you gentlemen at the river. Top pair versus the heart draw. Yeah, this is all in every time. Especially when the pot's already bloated. There's no getting away from this. You're going all in there every time. He's calling every time. No need to waste time. $44.4 million up for grabs here. A massive moment. What's all this then? Bricks the turn. He bricked the river last night. Wait, no, that's Crimsano. Are the flushes just not coming today? Let's find out. King works 2, of course. The flushes are just not coming today. Well, it did for Eddie earlier, but he didn't need it. What's all this then? Got a little bit of momentum going, and then had it absolutely snuffed out in an instant. Great run for him, though. 5th place, and I'm finally going to check and see how much he won. 3,065 plus whatever his bounty was. 727. It's like the ideal lowball flop. Eddie's got the ideal lowball hand. Of course, playing Hold'em lowball just isn't a good fit. Omaha high-low, now that's fun. That's a good game. But with only 2 cards, there really is no business going for lows. Because the thing is, even crappy hand, like if you're going for highs, even a crappy hand like 6-4 offsuit or something, if the flop comes 5-7-8, it still has potential to be a really good hand. In low ball, you get dealt a pocket pair or like king queen. There is no potential for it. So it really is a stupid idea. Ooh, Crimsano. Combo draw. Gary Oak with bottom pair. Gary Oak has not really done much, but he's managed to at least survive the early slings and arrows. Oh, okay, flushes are coming. And Crimsano even has a redraw to a straight flush if he really wants it. I don't think he's going to get that chance, because Gary Oak has nowhere to go in this hand, I think. Yeah. Wonderful board, though. Another nice little chip up from Crimsano. Gary Oak trending towards becoming the short stack. But again, everybody's got plenty of chips to work with. Oh, the bond just went up again. So it looks like it's 10 minutes, perhaps 12. But it's definitely not 15. I think he meant to show both cards. But okay, he just shows the 7 of clubs. It's 7-2. He's not going to play a 7-2. Ify Birch with the raise. Gary with a very callable hand. And he gets a combo draw as well. I wonder if he'll hit the 3 of spades. Ify Birch with the random continuation bet. Well, not random. To the expected continuation bet. 9 of clubs. So close. But Gary's still looking for a little bit of love from the board. He's got too strong of a hand to fold. Well, too strong of a draw to fold here. Ify Birch still going for it with ace high and no draw. Doesn't know he has the best hand. Gary choosing this moment to raise. I thought he was in chase mode the whole time, but he steps it up a gear. And Ify Birch does fold. Bit of a risky move there, I'd say, by Gary Oak, because if Ify Birch happened to have a big hand, he might come over the top and just say, all right, this is a PKO, let's see what you have, and let's see if I get your bounty. I gotta say, if that was a pretty risky move, but it pays off very well. Standard raise and a standard re-raise with Queen King here. 4-handed, that's a very strong hand. Queen 9. Oh, ace 3 goes in the buck. Crimsano with a much better hand. Could be 7 million. Oh, he's going for everything. That's a huge all-in. He just does not want to play ace-king post-flop. That should be an easy one for Ify Birch. Aw, no love for 6-4. Eddie might call here. See if he hits some spades. 1 spade. Not much to go off of, though. Let's see, bet might be small enough. Nope, he's gonna fold. Pocket 9s. I hate them so very much. Whether it be on replay poker or here, I can never ever win with them. I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit. I think the only big hand that I've won with pocket 9s in my life, funny enough, is when I was a freshman at UC Irvine, and there was a casino night specifically just for freshmen. At the poker tables, the biggest hand that I won was with pocket 9s that flopped a set. I couldn't believe it. Nice call. Nice call by Ify Birch. Again, his instincts are very good so far. Crimsano just wasn't really sure what to do with that hand. Decided to go for a late bluff and just wasn't quite good enough. Well, not that he wasn't good enough, but Ify Birch was better. Gary. We'll certainly see a flop there. Come on, Gary. Ooh. We both have the same straight draw, but Eddie with the pair to go along with it. That's got to be one of the top 10 flops you could ever get with 8-9 offsuit. $2,860,000. Again, a hefty C bet. I love to see that. The C bets are actual bets. They're not just like no look couple of chips to toss in just nonchalantly. Ace of clubs. It's not too often that an ace is a brick, but it's pretty much a brick here. Eddie keeps going for it. He loves his hand, even with that ace out there, and Gary gets the message. Yeah, we saw Gary play mostly mistake-free poker at the other final table, and it led to a victory. So he's going for more... So he's going to keep going for mistake-free. Well, emphasis on making as few mistakes as possible, I should say. With some occasional outbursts, like we saw against Ify Birch with that draw. But keeping them occasional enough that they will believe you. Which is what I try to model my game after. For whatever reason, I never managed to make that work. I'm glad that Gary is showing me proof of concept that the style of game that I go for can work. Part of it is that I kind of fall short. They both kind of checked that one down because they both had ace-high, you know, bottom of the barrel showdown value, but showdown value nonetheless. Oh, big hands here, four-handed. But yeah, Gary's showing me that... Just a call, wow. Crimsano might even play. Yeah, he is going to play. And Crimsano... Oh my god! Forget what I was saying. This is... Okay, actually, no, let's not forget. I am going to go ahead and complete my tangent. For me, that style just didn't work. With a combination of me just kind of falling short of what I was going for. Just not completing the process of the game plan. And part of it was just the robots don't like me. Maybe IRL, I will let you know next time I play IRL if I actually start doing a little bit better. But anyway, enough of that. Tangent over. Look at this flop. Eddie, you absolute madman. By just calling, you have given us probably the biggest action flop I've ever seen in any of these tournaments. The robots have gone out of their way to trigger a bloodbath of epic proportions. Eddie, first to act here. Overpair plus straight flush draw. Crimsano, next to act. Bottom two pair with 7-6 off. Ify Birch, third to act. Nut flush. And a check from Eddie. A check. Oh, don't tell me it's going to be checked all around. Okay, Ify Birch, strong instincts yet again, knows that a bet is likely to be called, at least by one person. Eddie, again just with the call. Crimsano just calls as well, and that king of clubs is going to save his life. I think now, in a three-way hand, Crimsano is done with this hand. Ace of Hearts ends up not changing much. Eddie now in a position that he will probably just check call a bet from Eefy Birch with that 10 of clubs. He did not get his straight flush. Eefy Birch has the nuts. Kind of. Not really the nuts. There could be a straight flush out there, but if he's scared of that, he should not be playing. He does bet 8 million. Eddie probably calls here. Just to keep him honest. Crimsano probably finds the fold. Alright. Nicely done. Eefy Birch up to 98 million. He is crushing it. You know, back in the old days, when I first got into poker, shortly after the Moneymaker boom and everything, back in the old days, that would have been like that insta-shove, insta-reshove, insta-call all in. But everybody has a much more measured approach to it now. Sorry. I'm not sick. Side bets, 10 high folds. A couple of days ago, I had mild vertigo, but that's gone already, thankfully. I thought Eddie might go for the all-in there, and Crimsano has just enough that maybe it's worth it four-handed. Maybe. I can't disagree with the fold either. Gary with a pair, one, two ace suited. If that's a pair, they're both diamonds, then we got a problem here. And again, the C-bets have some meat to them. He shows the 10 of diamonds, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what message he's trying to convey there. Eddie making some headway. Crimsano just not getting dealt much. They're all trying, though. They're all trying, and they're all betting, you know, good sizes, good strong sizes. I like to see this. There's been a couple of wastes of time bank, but nothing egregious. No more than 3 seconds. Crimsano needs to play ball at some point. Decides to choose now. Eddie, though, with a much better hand. That flop does not do Crimsano any favors. Nor does the turn. However, there are 2 big cards out there. If the board pairs with a 4 or a 7, we have a chop because it would be 7-7, ace, king, jack for both players. Crimsano only wins with a 5. 6. The one card in that range that doesn't do him any good. Eddie gets the win. Crimsano, 4th place. Well done to you. $4,352. Gary Oak now in the final 3. Eefy Birch goes with the 3x raise. I think Gary might want to play ball here. Jack 10's got potential, and he does need to make something happen now. Yeah, I like the call there. Oh my goodness! Okay. The robots just want this to be over with. The robots are just tired of this game, I guess. Gary Oak flops top 2. Eefy Birch with flush and up and down straight draw. This is obviously going all in right here. Although, again, people are very disciplined nowadays with flops like that. Let's see. Maybe Gary just calls. Nope, he is going to raise. Eefy Birch with honestly no reason at all to slow play. Oh, but he is going to keep doing it. And in PKO, I would have thought for sure that was an all-in. Well, there is the all-in. Efibert's still with a combo draw. I can't imagine he'll fold this. Gary Oak, with the top two, needs to dodge a queen, 7, or any heart. Actually, Jack is fine. Jack of hearts would be fine. He does call, and Gary manages to dodge it all. Gary Oak back to $58.5 million, and we have basically a three-way tie now. I just hope E.T. Birch isn't kicking himself for that one, because that was pretty unavoidable. It was blind v blind. He was in the big blind. He was, you know, he was being checked to, so he couldn't just fold the 9-2. That was just predestination. Ace, Queen, King. Which 7 has the better kicker? It is Efi Birch. Nice fold, actually. I would have at least been tempted to see another card there if I was Gary. Efi Birch was a similar hand to last time, and I guess he's tired of seeing hands like that. He does fold. This time Gary does raise. They can certainly afford to be raising 3x to each other because they all have plenty of chips. Ace 4 suited for Eddie. The fourth Ed brother in that Cartoon Network show. Are they brothers? Or are they just friends? I don't know. I never watched that show. I know there's memes about it, though, so that's why I mentioned it.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Tough decision for Eddie, being 3-bet big by Gary Oak with his own suited ace. And he makes the, I would say, correct fold there. Gary's not super active pre-flop. I mean, this is three-handed, so anything goes, but still. Eddie's turn now. And he makes it 9-hole million. He loves to show the left card every time, whatever it is. I wonder if he's left-handed. Gary thinking of raising here. And does with at the buzzer for for his time bank. And a call there from King Jack, obviously going nowhere. Eddie's trying to do what Gary did to Efiberts just a little while ago. Doesn't get quite as epic of a flop, but does pick up middle pair with a good kicker. Gary with a gut shot to a 3. Eddie's going nowhere, though. Another king. Well, Eddie's beating every ace in the deck. Except ace king, obviously. And he continues to check. Gary, do you want to keep driving this bus? Because I'm riding it. Oh, dang! It looks like Gary has wised up, and not really sure what else Eddie's supposed to do other than check with quads. Gary Oak, obviously, as 5 high here, can't win in a showdown, and does give Eddie what he wants, 4.5 million more chips. So well played by Eddie. And he's going for it all. It's not going to happen. Hoping that he's up against an ace, but nah. Even if he was up against an ace, he might even been able to find a fold there. Maybe. So I probably would have raised a little smaller. And Eddie takes over the lead. Not by much, but he does have it. Ify Birch with the standard 3x blind versus blind raise. Eddie with the standard call with a playable hand, and Eddie hits another one. Robots don't mind turning the tide, store one guy for a while. And lead out by Ify Birch. Eddie could just call, could raise, decides to go ahead and call. Argument to raise in there would be that, you know, I've got a pair now. It's top pair. It probably won't be top pair for long, so let's just press my advantage while I have it. 3.9 million from Ify Birch. Eddie now with draws on top of the pair. Now decides to raise, and raises small. Ify Birch, though, with honestly not even with those odds, is not worth it. And he picks up another one. Now he really does have a sizable chip lead. By about 24 million. Yeah, I feel like I'm at least delivering on my promise to keep it relatively professional this time around. Raise from the Jack 8. Just a call with the 5s, and a call with the Queen 4 as well. Ify Birch! It's your turn to shine, and I like the just call there. You know, there's still a lot of volatility going on here with the fact that they're all still fairly close to each other. I like that he didn't want to go too crazy. Now that he's got the set, he's just waiting for somebody to get out of line. It's just not happening. And now there's 4 cards to his straight out there. Ify Bird's probably kicking himself for not betting earlier. He is still good, and now he does bet. But he's almost turning it... I don't want to say turning it into a bluff, but hoping to God that somebody calls it just 2 pair. But he's probably happy to take that one down with no showdown either. Just a horrible run out for a set of 5s there. But at least he still won the pot. Nah, he's not gonna call. Oh, he is gonna call. Okay. That's quite loose, I must say. 3x with 10-5 off. Ify Birch checks. And I would have thought that would have been a spot to bet if you're going to play 10-5 in the first place. But good thing he didn't, because Ify Birch is going nowhere now. Don't do it. He did it. Good sizing. In a vacuum, I'd say that was a really good size. Ify Birch, of course. Yeah, he'll show you what he's willing to play for. Well done again by Ify Birch. He is playing some strong poker. They all are, really. I don't think I've seen any mistakes out of any of these guys yet. Except maybe calling with 10-5 offsuit. Queen Jack for Gary Oak. Ify Birch with bottom pair. And was checked to him, but he's going to go ahead and bet 2.4. Just a call. I knew the turn card was going to be an 8. I freaking knew it. The robots have been doing that all final table long. Remarkably managing to keep the pot small, and he's still checking. I can't believe Gary Oak is checking. And what a check back by Ify Birch with 2 pair, managing to keep his losses way down there. Very nice discipline by Ify Birch, losing the absolute minimum in that spot. I gotta say, I don't think I would have been quite as disciplined. Although if I'm Gary Oak, I'd probably bet the turn, or maybe the river. Now, the river did bring some scary possibilities out there, so... Ooh. Well, if you're Birch... He's a bet and a call and decides, I'm going to make it 9.7 million with my pair. And that is good enough to take it down. Let me tell you, when you get down to three-handed, you are happy with any win you get. I'd say even when you get down to, like, 2 tables, you're happy with any win you get. I speak only from experience in replay poker, of course, but it is still experience. It's not for real money. Another turn card giving trip. The turn card has been just crazy at this final table. Someone's always blessed on the turn, it seems. Ooh, those hands. Hey, you could call, could raise. Decides to raise to 11-9. Wow. Ify Birch has the discipline to fold there. I can't disagree with that. That's a pretty big chunk of chips to commit with, a very pretty hand, but at the end of the day, if you miss, it's just jack high. And he might have raised just a little too much. If he makes it just 11 million flat, maybe he plays it. 11.9 million might have been a little too much. I finally press the button that says to disable all notifications from mail. That's a message from Norton Security. Which, again, is blocking the bottom right-hand corner of my screen. Okay, now it's good. Meaning I can't press the 2x button for silly spots like this where it's obvious that it's going to be a short hand. Here we go. Mine's now twice what they were when we started this final table. But we still have plenty of play left. 2.4 million gets it done. King 10, King 4, 4-4. They're all blocking each other. Holy smokes! You realize you're putting in 35 million to win 5 million, right? I don't know about that one, Chief. The heck? 6.2 million in the middle with a gut shot. He bets 62 million. And it's actually the effective stack. What? Ephemers are just tired, I guess. 2 huge pocket pairs, meanwhile, and they end up playing a much smaller pot. Eddie hits a set. Jack's coming. Standard continuation bet this time. Good thing he didn't shove, because Eddie would have been right there. Oh, now Eddie shoves. Man, we do want to end this thing. What the heck? Although, in Eddie's case, I totally agree with that shove, because pocket nines suck. If you can win the hand now, do it. Uh-oh, setting up a reshove, no doubt. Come on, Gary. No, just a regular re-raise. Oh my goodness! Eefy Birch with a huge misjudgment and a huge luck box. I have no idea why he thought that raising all in there with ace-3 was a good play. It should have been very clear that Gary Oak was committed to the hand by that point. Ace-3 is never good. But he hits the ace on the flop, and Gary Oak is now looking for jack or run or something. Ugh, it has to be a jack. What a horrible way to go out. Gary, man, you played great poker. Last week and this week, you showed that these final tables are no accidents. Eefy Birch went crazy there. Way overplayed ace-3 offsuit. Disgustingly overplayed ace-3 offsuit. But gets away with it big time. Eefy Birch seems to be the most tired out of all these guys. He just wants this to be over with. He played very, very well until, like, the last 5 or so minutes. Now he's just spamming. Okay, he just called there. That's good. Over 5,800 for Gary. We may well see him in a Venom one of these days. The way he's going right now. Eddie. With still a pair that plays. Oh! And gets a full house. 6 is full of 4s. Eefy Birch finally gives up. Nothing too unreasonable about trying to bluff those, though. Eddie now has enough that he is willing to bet for sure. Maybe 7.6. Oh, wow, much bigger. Eefy Birch is not going to pay that off with King High, though. And these two virtually even now, and heads up as well. And the blinds are up again. Gotta end this somehow. Eefy Birch seems to be doing a good job of that anyway. Ending it. Six of diamonds, another beneficial turn card for Eddie, and a little bit beneficial for Eefy Birch as well, because a 7 gives him a straight now. Eddie, though, with 2 pair makes the bet. Eefy Birch had a gut shot in 2 overs, but I would say that's a pretty good fold. That's one of those gut shots that you sometimes don't even notice that you have. .7. Eefy with pair and a gut shot he should notice this time. There you go. That's a good raise. Of course, Antonio Esfalondiari likes to say it's hard to make a pair. When you get heads up, any pair is kind of hard to let go, and he is going to keep going. Big pot now, 23.5 million. Well, not big yet, but growing. Eefy Birch slows down. Eddie might take that as a sign to plow along. Be 10.5 million. Nope, nothing at all. Another more or less brick. Ify Birch stuck with just a pair of fives and an unfilled straight draw, and no bets for either player. Ify Birch takes it. Eddie probably kicking himself. Maybe a big bet there could have gotten the job done. That should do that one. Four, seven of diamonds. Diamonds. Unfortunately, Ify Birch has absolutely none of that. Yeah. I just missed one. Sorry. Uh-oh. 7-9's almost playable. Oh, wow. He is going to play a 24.5 million pot with 7-9 offsuit. He was pretty loose with the 10-5. It's loose again with the 7-9. That's a pretty good flop for Ify Birch. Not great, but certainly one that he can do damage with. And Eddie with 9 high is going to give him a bit of a gift here. Ify Birch probably was looking for the check raise. Let's see. Yep. And he played himself again. First with that 10-5 and now with the 7-9. And Ify Birch has established a pretty good gap now. Now 5-9, although to be fair, that was only 2.5x, and we are heads up. So that's not quite as egregious. And he does just get out, to his credit there. He still has chips. Just a min raise. I think when we're down to heads up, you got to raise more than the minimum if you want to get the job done. 3-2 makes the call. Although, this is working in Eddie's favor now. He's got the higher pair. Ify Birch certainly doesn't want to fold immediately. Eddie bets 4.4 million. Ify Birch absolutely should call here. Again, heads up, you got a pair. It's not something you should be folding, to one bet. The king may scare each player a little bit. Eddie is going to keep betting. Ify Birch, I could see him going either way here, does make the call. 5 of clubs gives Eddie 2 pair. Eddie may have just checked if that were, say, an 8. But 2 pair, he's going to go for some more value. And now Ify Birch looking at 28 million out there plus. And knows he's probably on the short side of this one. Big bet from Eddie. Oh my goodness, he makes the call. I don't know what he thought Eddie was representing there, that he was beating. I really don't know. That was a really quick call. And all of a sudden, the gap has closed in an instant. Oh, here's a fun hand. Pair and a small flush draw for Eddie, and then gut shot and a large flush draw for Ify Birch. For some reason, this one's not a bloated pot. But it might be now. Eddie had been thinking at least about a check raise. Uh-oh. Ace of diamonds. Good thing he didn't check raise. Ify Birch probably would have called. If he loves that, Eddie probably still okay with the way this looks so far. Does make the call. 9 of diamonds does not help him. Ify Birch has the check mark. And goes for an Eddie-sized bet. Near pot. Will Eddie believe? Ify Birch didn't believe him. But Eddie believes him. Okay. Eddie's showing better discipline, and this is the guy who spewed off ships with 10-5 offsuit and 7-9 offsuit. So when he's showing more discipline than you, that's kind of damning. Queen of clubs on the turn. There was a bet and a call. Not really sure what for, but they both have baby flush draws. You can't chop pots with flush over flush. Uh-oh. And still a call with king high and the 3 of clubs. And of all the cards to win it, it's the 4 of diamonds, giving Eddie a pair of 4s and the right to check on the river with that little bit of showdown value that he picked up. And he gets to sheepishly drag that one in. One of those lovely, ugly W's that you just kind of laugh at while you pick it up. Checking out football scores. Oh, he's not going to go. Even he's not going to call 4 million with 9-2 offsuit. Oh, here we go. King, Queen versus Ace 2. The correct play here is probably to raise, but I like the call. Ify Birch has already shown that he can be a little bit unpredictable. There's always some benefit to soft playing an ace if an ace happens to come out there. In this case, I could see a call here. He's going to go for it. Okay, now he's done. But he didn't lose too much that way. If he 3-bets there, Ify Birch is going to certainly call, and then Eddie might feel compelled to c-bet, and he's going to lose a lot more that way. Uh-oh. he still bluffed the river. I didn't think he would. But Ify Birch with a snap call there, obviously having none of that. And now he does get to open up a gap again. Eddie. Going for another bluff. Ify Birch with the pocket 5s. I was expecting a call. He actually raises, and Eddie can't be along for this hand. Oh, he's trying something, and instead he's just going to get another really ugly win. I don't know what he was trying, but he was certainly going for some kind of creative betting, and he might still lose his hand, though. Ify Birch bet 17 million with just those 5s. Eddie hit the pair, but Ify Birch is acting like he's got much better than a jack. Now he checks, Eddie can check back, and another ugly win. That turned kind of pretty with his ability to actually call that bet on the turn. Ify Birch probably feeling a little bit how does Norman Chad say it? Flamooshed by that run out. Middle pair, good kicker for Ify Birch. Eddie again with ace high. Although there's no red cards out there, this should be an easier fold. It is. Entertaining stuff. 4.2 million. Okay, the robots are finally done setting up crazy flops, obviously. It should be a bet and a fold. $35 million gap now. Eddie on top. Again, he just calls in this spot. I'm totally fine with that. Although he also stands to maybe mix it up a few times and raise every now and then in a spot like that. Ify Birch bets. Eddie with raggedy cards, but that's a raggedy board. Does call. Turn card. The turn card is consistent. The turn card's going to help somebody. Okay, we're doing better against the Bills than I thought we'd be. We're only down 10 to 14. Monte Adams balling out again. Anyway, 12 million, call. He hit the pair on the river. It's not good enough. Efi Birch takes that one down. Good bet size on the river by Efi Birch. Eddie stuck around and only ended up getting himself in trouble. Eight, seven of clubs has backdoor implications, which, when your heads up, are good enough to keep playing, but none of them came through here. At a full eight-handed table, anybody who calls just for backdoor outs, I think, is making terrible mistakes. Heads up, I get it. Even three-handed, I get it. But just not at a full-handed table. Anyone chasing backdoors is literally chasing 6 or 7% shots at best. But when you play heads up, it's all about psychology. You can drive any speed you really want to. It might work, it might blow up in your face, you just never really know. Hopefully you at least have a decent idea of what your opponent has been doing all night. You know, at the final table this whole time. Okay, I've only got one more guy to beat. I've seen the way he plays all night. How is he going to play against me heads up? You need to have ideas of how he plays and how to counteract that. But eight's for Eddie. I don't see him checking this one back. And I don't see Efi Birch calling either. Terrible flop. Efi Birch does at least have a gut shot. Oh! He's going for it. Not all the way, obviously, but making a move. Eddie with queen high, no draw. Yeah, fold. Heads up, I think that's a call. 2.5x. 5-3, yeah. Whoa! 3 red cards. 3 hearts, in fact. Eddie has 5-3 black. That's a losing hand in roulette and poker. Yes, roulette has hands now. Deal with it. Don't worry. Roulette's still the same game. I do enjoy playing around with cards, though, a lot. I always have. Sometimes I will try to, like, fabricate some kind of card system to to any game out there. I mean, the fact that there's an app, Monopoly Solitaire, that's like so right up my alley. First of all, Monopoly is fun. Second of all, cards are fun to play around with, even if it is solitaire. It's like just the game for me, just the right kind of time wasting that I'm going to enjoy for a long time. Efi Birch certainly enjoys that flop. And that turn card, I think he enjoys as well. Nothing scary on that board at all for the Jack-3. Eddie still betting, not really sure why. I would have slowed down there. The ace-high still has a little bit of showdown value. I don't think you're being called by anything worse. And now he's betting out 10 million, another safe river card. Eddie just has ace-high. This should be an easy fold, given that he's called you twice. I'm sorry, but I hate that call. He's called you twice. Now he's leading out. Even if you thought that he was on some kind of draw, that 9, if it didn't complete the draw, it still paired him. You know? Your ace-8's never ahead there. I cannot defend that call. I really can't. Very similar board for Eefy Birch. Although this is certainly much more coordinated than the last one. Well, the 666 board notwithstanding. I see trips on the board at least once in a robot poker all the time. IRL, that's really rare, but robots love to do that. 19 million. You know, not a terrible idea, but I think Eefy Birch is gonna make that call. Yeah. There are actually a few hands that just hit a really good river card. So that's not a terrible idea, but Eefy Birch had slightly too strong a hand to fold. His instincts have been very solid. When he's not just, you know, punting with ace-3. Jeez, here we go again. Uh-oh. Eddie's got a chance now to get right back in it, although Eefy Birch, I don't think is going to give him very much. He's not going to give him anything. 1 big blind. That's all you get, bud. Now Eefy Birch has some chips. Or has some cards. Eddie... Oof. This is not looking good for Eddie. If he proceeds any further on this hand, this might not be going on much longer. Okay, you have an out now. Alright, good fold. I say good fold like that's any achievement, but still, like, you know, it had to have been tempting to at least try something. He is getting pretty out chipped now. And a little bit of something there for Eddie. Eefy Birch has nothing to go off of. Lets him have it. He's in a great chip position. He's not going to blow this big chip lead on something stupid. I like that. Advantage Eefy Birch again. And again, Eddie is in an awkward spot where he's just almost forced to pay him off a couple of times because he has a pair. It is not a good pair, but it is heads up. Yeah, he does call. I don't fault that call at all. He checks again. Eefy Birch picks up a gut shot as well as the pair. Does slow down. Eddie sees the king pair on the river. Thinking about making another move at it. Value bet bluff? Maybe that's just a value bet period. But it gets called by Eefy Birch, and Eddie is now even further behind. Whoa! Are we already there? Eefy Birch? Jack 10, you're willing to just run and gun with that hand? You realize if he beats you there, we're almost even again. Hey, don't do anything silly there, Eddie. Oh, there you go, Eddie. Eefy Birch could have bet, but decided that the check call approach is the better way here. Wow, he just folded. Very nice. Figures that Eddie wouldn't have stepped out of bounds there if he didn't have something. Uh-oh. Playable. Limp. Oh, it's his favorite hand, ace-3. Here comes the all-in. Yep. Eddie with king 10. Debatable. Goes for it. Nothing in there for Eddie so far. a setup perhaps to let's see the turn card. The turn card always brings something fancy. I'm gonna go with the 3 of spades. 5 of spades. All right, Eddie, King 10 spade to stay alive. Nope. We have a winner. Beefy Birch has taken it down with none other than his absolute favorite hand in the universe, Ace 3 offsuit. There are your winners. Gary Oak bought in 5 times. Okay, that's less impressive then. Still, that's an investment of $545 overall, and he went way past that in terms of prize money, so worked out pretty well for him. And obviously he can afford to rebuy now because we saw him win very recently. And he was the only rebuy at that entire final table. Very good news. I like to see that. So, thank you for watching this one. I'm going to go ahead and watch football now. And I'll see you again probably tomorrow. I mean, I've got another one lined up to commentate later. Actually, I've got 2 lined up to commentate. This is Sundays. They like to do some pretty big games. I've got 3 lined up. Oh yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.